Ooh, it's cold. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the 2021 Specialized Status. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm James with JC Trails. If you're not familiar with what the Status is, it's a Mullet Pacific bike, so you can't switch the back wheel to a 29er. It only comes with a 27.5 back wheel and a 29er front wheel. It's specializes kind of like party bike. Toga, toga, toga. You can't find it on the website. It's got its own website, and it comes in like a really good price, $2,600. I think that's to compete with direct-to-consumer brands, and it's just to get people into mountain biking because it is a really fun bike to ride. It kind of reminds me of when the 2019 Specialized Stumpy Evo came out. It only came in aluminum. It came with like more budget-friendly parts, and it was just kind of like a test mule bike to see if people would actually like the concept of a slack and low bike. And this is the same thing. It's kind of like they're testing the waters for having a mullet bike. When I usually do reviews, I usually do them live while I'm riding the bike, but my GoPro equipment's been acting up. All right, let's see if the camera shuts off again. So it's been just shutting off, so I think I need to get a new GoPro. But in this video, we're just gonna talk about the spec of the bike, how it climbs, how it descends, how it jumps, but especially how it turns. I am on an S3. That's kind of like a medium plus bike, you know, or it's probably just a medium in this lineup, but it fits my 5'10" stature perfectly. I could probably size up for S4 if I lived where it was somewhere steeper, but the S3 fits my trails perfectly. And I also went with the 140 bike. So the Specialized Status comes in two different travel bikes. They both come with a 160 fork for the 29er front wheel, and in the back has a DPX2 rear shock. You can get it at 140 or 160. I'm on the 140. Where I live, there's nothing too crazy, so I figured I'd want a little more pedal-friendly bike. As for spec, guys, it comes with super nice spec. For $2,600, you're getting a Fox 36 Rhythm fork. Like I said, 160 millimeters of travel. A Fox DPX2 Performance rear shock, really nice. Code RS, or sorry, yeah, not RSC, but Code R brakes, really nice stoppers with 200 millimeter rotors. It has the X-Fusion Manic dropper post, 170 millimeters, and usually on medium-sized bikes with Specialized or S3s, I usually put a 150, so it's nice to see a 170 post on there. Specialized like in-house aluminum wheels, they're pretty good, they're not too bad. 30 millimeter inner width, so holds the butcher tires really nice. They're 2.3 inches wide, and everything else is pretty good. It's Specialized in-house bars, stem, and it has a SRAM NX 12-speed. But if you want more details, I'll leave a link to this Status website, and you can check it out for yourself. As for geometry, this is where the bike gets a little funky. Since it's a mullet bike with a 27.5 wheel, it's got 426 millimeter chainstays, so you can get this bike around corners really easily, and it's super fun and rewarding to turn on it. But it's got a super slack head tube. In the low position, I think it's like 63.7 or 6. I'll leave it right here on the screen. And then in the high, it's about 64.3. I left it in the high for my local trails. I have nothing too steep here. And that way I can just get around turns a little bit easier. I don't have to lean on the front end as much. But let's now talk about how the bike climbs. The Specialized Status is not the lightest bike. I haven't weighed it yet, but I'll wait till I get back to the shop. I think it weighs probably like 35, 34 pounds. It's not a light bike. It's all aluminum. Can't expect it to weigh, you know, like 25 pounds, but it's fine. It doesn't feel that heavy when you're pedaling on the normal everyday trails, but when you're doing a long extended climb, you'll feel the 35 pounds. Like any other horse link bike, Specialized has the FSR suspension, does bob. You know, it's not the most efficient bike, provides really good traction over like rough climbs, but this compression switch is right here below, you know, the seat or the top tube. So you can just switch it to climb or to full lockout. And full lockout's pretty stiff, as you can see. It doesn't really move. So I just kept it in the middle setting. provide a little bit more support and still provide traction over rough terrain. When the climbs got pretty steep though, I really had to get up on the front end and weigh that front end down because with that short chainstay, the bike kind of wanted to loop out. So just gotta get out of the seat, get on the handlebars, and it'll get you to the top. But that's what this bike's designed for. It's designed for hitting jumps, railing turns, and just having fun doing some manuals. So let's talk about how the status descends. It's not the most stable bike I've ever been on. It doesn't have that super long chainstay like some other bikes like the Stumpy Evo or like even my Mega Tower one hasn't the long chainstay setting. It just has that stability where you can just kind of hold on and bomb downhill like the Enduro too. What it's designed for is to have fun, to get the front end up, to slap around turns. And a lot of the tracks I was doing today are all those loam tracks where it's kind of rutted into the turn. So you really got to get the bike into the rut and just kind of pop out of it. And that's where that 27.5 wheel shines. You know, the little wheel, I don't want to call it little, it's not that little, but the 27.5 wheel is just a little bit stiffer than a 29er wheel. And it's also easy just to rotate out of that turn. It's just really rewarding once you get it dialed. And then having that 29er front wheel provides a really good traction. So you're just leaning the bike over, rotating the back end around, shooting something roost up in your buddy's face who's behind you, and just having a big smile on your face. As for how the bike jumps, it feels just like a stump jumper to me. It's a little bit heavier, so it's a little bit harder to get off the ground, but you know, once you get used to it, it jumps really nice. Suspension feels really plush when it's wide open, so you can just kind of bomb through chunky sections still and just kind of hit drops. But when I did hit a couple drops, like with the shock wide open, I did blow through the travel. So I'd probably add a little bit bigger volume spacer in the rear end, probably give it a little support while pedaling and also make it a little bit more progressive. So what do I like about the status? I love how it's just ready to party. It is a fun bike just to rip around the trails and just hang out with your buds. And also manuals really well. If you have been watching my channel, I'm trying to learn how to manual. So I've just been using this bike as like my trainer when I go outside in my front of my house on the street. And it's really easy to get the front end up and just kind of get at that balance point because of the balance point because that chainstay is so short. I've been really enjoying just riding it around my local trails and having a great time. It's not the fastest bike I've ever ridden. It's not the lightest bike, but it only costs $2,600 and you're getting really good spec. The only gripes I probably have with it are the rear hub. It's kind of a crappy hub where I feel like it's going to blow up at any moment. If that blows up, I'd probably just change out the hub and keep the same rim because the rims are plenty good. They're wide and nice. It's just the hubs could use a little bit more engagement. And also the Specialized tires. Surprised they didn't put the new Specialized Butcher tires on here with the different compounds like the T7 and the T9, or I guess the T9's a softer one. I'll put that in the front and then the T7 in the back. I think with those tires, this thing would really shine and it would hook up that much better. So who is this bike for? I see like the person riding in like Santa Cruz, those steep kind of loamy trails that you have to go down really steep and slap a turn at the bottom. I feel like every time I ride it, I'm in Santa Cruz doing that. And I'd love to actually bring it to Santa Cruz and try it out. That'd be super fun. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'd like to thank Bike Barn for letting me demo this bike. And they do have a couple in stock, so get them while you can, because these things are kind of have like a cult following and they're just flying off the shelves in the shops. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe if you want to see more bike reviews, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Oh my God, it is freezing. I'm chattering through that whole review. While I was editing this video, I forgot to say one of the things I really like about having a Mullet bike is having a smaller wheel in the back. You can do drops and not worry about buzzing your ass on the back tire. Also, when you're going down steep, like shooty terrain or just rock rolls, you got plenty of clearance between your butt and the back tire.